गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वर गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ब्रह्मचर्यव्रती दण्डी सर्ववेदान्तपण्डित श्रीमद्विवेकयोगी मां प्रचोदयतु सर्वदा। Greetings on the occasion of the Guru Poornima day to all our listeners. Blessed are we in India that we are upholding this wonderful tradition of remembering our Gurus and paying our obeisance to them. India is blessed that she is still keeping up this tradition of Guru Vandana. For us, Guru Poornima is not a national celebration. I feel through this we are sending a great message to the whole humanity. What is this message? It is important to remember our elders, our teachers who have provided us with the wisdom to lead our lives as we are leading today. Just imagine, from time immemorial, when man appeared on the face of the earth, how much of struggles he must have gone through to acquire the knowledge and transform it into wisdom, store it for the posterity, and pass it on from generation to generation. It may be simple materialistic knowledge, how to make fire, how to use water, how to improvise a shelter for living, how to look after the babies, so on and so forth. Infinite are the items of knowledge they must have gathered in their primary stages of existence before they came to what we know as the modern man. Usually, all this knowledge have been accumulated together as our materialistic collections of books and knowledge and things like that. And we pass it on from generation to generation, chemistry, physics, maths, etc., etc. But as different from all that materialistic knowledge, our country is blessed with another knowledge. And that is the knowledge of the self, one's own soul, the knowledge about the inexplicable Chaitanya which fills up the universe, which enters into every being and make the whole universe as living, a living planet. Bhumi is called a living planet because everywhere there is this life. So, it was given to our forefathers to accumulate, collect this wisdom of this particular knowledge of the truth of human existence and then codify it into what we understand today as Vedas and Upanishads and things like that. So, India owes her name, fame, existence and relevance because we have this wonderful accumulated treasure of spiritual knowledge. And innumerable are the wise men who were engaged in this accumulation of this knowledge and passing it on to the posterity. It was not just like a teacher, because a teacher teaches a subject which he or she knows, and that is the end of it. But this spiritual knowledge, it is not a knowledge, it is an awareness which has to be passed on from a guru to the shishya, not through books or teachings or anything like that. Our great rishis did samvada silently. Dakshinamurti was a silent teacher. The student, when he is ripe to acquire the knowledge, would sit in front of the guru, and the knowledge flowed from the guru to the shishya. In our own times, our own history, we have heard the great Ramana Maharshi. He hardly ever spoke to his disciples, but the very fact of sitting near him was enough to eradicate the wrong tendencies and notions and doubts from the disciples' mind. So it is possible like that. But still, we have had great rishis who thought such a transference of knowledge is not possible, and they came out with the Vedas and Upanishads and Itihasas and Puranas and things like that. So, this Guru Poornima, we are not only worshipping those who handed over knowledge to us, but we are also sending a message to the whole world. It is necessary to understand, appreciate, and absorb the knowledge, the traditions, the wisdom which our elders have passed on to us. It is a worship of the elders, worship of the wise men, worship of the great teachers who brought illumination to the public. So, this is a day like that, when we are worshipping all those great people. How did these people pass on this knowledge? They had in those days what we call as Gurukulas. So Gurukula is a place where the teacher and his wife stayed, and the disciples stayed with them. So 24 hours the Guru and wife are under the observations of the students. 24 hours the students are under the watch of the Guru and his wife. So every little bit of action, every thought, word and deed, if it needed correction, it was corrected. If it needed purification, they were purified. If it needed perfection, they perfected it. So by the time they came out of the Gurukula, their knowledge, their character, their reverence to the elders, their appreciation of the spiritual values, everything was simultaneously achieved by these students. That is why the Gurukula tradition was so important. See, when we have small wells or tanks where we store water, it is possible that sometime or other, due to the vagaries of the weather, the water may get exhausted and then they are left dry. But when you have a source of an inner spring, a spring which is deeply hidden in the bowels of the earth, and that spring is supplying you with fresh, beautiful water from the depths of the earth. So even if those are dry wells and your other things, you still can depend on this spring of this fountain of water which is coming from the bowels of the earth. In the same way, there are knowledge, what we call as the knowledge in texts and books and other things which a generation uses, then by the time the next generation comes, it may become invalidated, it may become unnecessary to read all that, some fresh knowledge may come like that. But there are certain fundamental items of knowledge. In India, we put it under the wonderful theme of know thyself. Know thyself. Satyam param dhimahi. Satyasya satyam. Satyameva jayate. We trained our students to go deep into themselves, to the very spring of their existence, and come out with this knowledge supreme of this ultimate truth. And because that was prevalent in India from time immemorial, what happened to India? India never lost touch with her past. Thanks to our Guru Poornima tradition, these gurus were ever valid for us. And who were there? Narayanam, Padmabhuvam, Vasishtam, coming from eons back. They were all, when they lived, we don't know, but we only know the knowledge which they have passed on. And we preserved it. This wells of knowledge, this wealth of knowledge, we preserved it, and generation to generation studied, contemplated, discussed about it, passed it on to the next generation. What were really truly invalid, scissored them away, brought more and more knowledge in the form of smritis to add to this shruti knowledge, and thus updated the knowledge. Oh, wonderful had been, if you look at the spiritual traditions of India, we will be flabbergasted at the wonderful work which these gurus have done for us. So, this eternal spring of knowledge, we never left it uncared for. That had been the blessedness of India. What made India a Punya Bhumi, Karma Bhumi, Dharma Bhumi, Satya Bhumi and so on is this well of knowledge, this spring of knowledge, that eternal spring of knowledge. You see, Ganga has been flowing for centuries, but where is her origin? In Gangotri. From a spring which comes from nowhere, we don't know. From the depths of Himalayas it comes from. But it is ever fresh and pure. Never can be invalidated, Ganga water. Similarly, this knowledge which is deeply hidden in the bowels of our spiritual heritage can never be spoiled by anybody. So, on Guru Poornima day, we are renewing our knowledge, inspiration, guidance which we received from these gurus, and make our own life more enlightened. More enlightened it becomes our life when we touch these gurus. Because a true guru is a touchstone to transform the base metal of one's life into that of pure gold. An ordinary teacher cannot do that. But a guru has to be Shrotriya and Brahmanishta. That is what Upanishads say. He has to be full of knowledge and he must be rooted in that truth himself. So such a guru, when we come in contact with him, he becomes a touchstone to transform an ordinary base metal of our life into that of pure gold. In our ancient Gurukula system, as I told you, the children were entrusted to the care of the Guru even from their very young age. The Guru taught them secular and non-secular subjects as per their individual needs. But one main achievement of the total eradication of, see how character building takes place, total eradication of the impulsiveness, which is the root cause of many a faulty behavior. When the children are going through a Gurukula tradition, impulsiveness, there is no chance for that, because there is such a perfect disciplined system for the whole day's study and other activities. Impulsiveness gets eliminated. Everything becomes rooted in the wisdom passed on by the Guru. So that is how the Guru tradition has been kept up. So in India, through this Guru Poornima, we are calling upon the humanity. Look back into the wisdom which your own community, your own Gotra has accumulated. Make use of them. There will be wonderful gems hidden in those treasure chests which are lying unused by us. Please try to find out them, unearth them, use them for your own good. So, in that way, we paying obeisance to the elders, we are upholding the grandeur of our Bharatiya traditions, Bharatiya spiritual heritage, and committing ourselves to a way of using them for ourselves and handing them over to the posterity, so that India lives forever. This wisdom lives forever. This Guru tradition is appreciated forever and ever. And especially the one who was a guiding factor in this illuminating the Bharatiya tradition was our great Veda Vyasa. So today it is called the Vyasa Poornima, and we also pay obeisance to the great Vyasa for handing over the truths hidden in this great heritage in the form of codifying the Vedas, Puranas, Idihasas, etc., so that every human being born in India can inherit this wonderful tradition. I can't conclude it just like that, but must say a few words from my heart. Once we know how to surrender to a Guru, oh, the strength and security and solace it brings. A Guru alone can provide us the courage and inspiration for self-transformation. He alone knows how to enter the innermost shrine of our hearts and, like the eternal flute player, rectify the disfiguration therein and restore the beauty and grandeur of our soul and make us feel our oneness with Him. Guru Poornima is a day of self-transformation. I always, speaking about myself, I always sum up my own life in that wonderful word, Apara Mahima, Guru Mahima.